Hey, second grade, come check out my backyard garden environment. I want to show you some of the different living organisms I have back here, as well as let you know how they depend on each other and the other things that are here in their environment. I also have a little helper with me. This is Amelia. Amelia, can you say hi? Emmy? No, she's not going to say hi. But you may see her popping in the video from time to time today. There we go. There's your hi. In our backyard garden, we have a variety of different bushes and trees. Some of them we know a little bit about, and some of them we don't know much about at all. Everything back here was planted by the people who owned our house before us. This right here is a yucca plant. It's kind of one of my favorites. There's actually 4 or 5 yuccas back here, and they just recently started to flower at the top. Aren't those cool? Sometimes you'll see a little green lizard hanging out in this yucca. We think he lives in here somewhere. I haven't seen him yet today, but I did just spy another living organism on one of the yucca leaves. Can you see that? It's a snail. We have a lot of snails in our backyard garden. Here's another living organism on the yucca plant. You see that ant crawling on the leaf? Oh, I just found another ant down here. This is an area of our backyard our kids love. We have some shrubs, including this holly bush. Then we have a tree growing around a tree here. You'll notice that tree back there has some flowers on it. It just started flowering in the last few weeks. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but right up there, there's a bumblebee flying around, getting pollen from those flowers and taking it to other trees and other plants in our neighborhood. There's also this huge oak tree. That oak tree produces acorns that drop to the ground in the fall. And then we have squirrels in our neighborhood that come collect them so that they can store up their food stash for the winter. These flowering plants in our backyard, and in our whole neighborhood really, depend on bees to pollinate. The bees are what helps those flowers grow. So they weren't in our backyard garden, but we just found 2 lizards on our neighbor's house. These are the ones who live in, or at least seem to live in our backyard. I think they're on the side of the house so that they can get some sun.
One is a baby and one is a grown-up.
Here's one of my favorite plants in our backyard. It's our rose bush. Aren't those beautiful roses? They depend on the bees in this neighborhood too. Another thing we find often in our backyard environment is birds. I haven't been able to catch any of them on this video right now, but if we listen carefully, we may be able to hear some of them. The birds that fly into our backyard environment rely on the insects that they find in the soil and on plants to eat, as well as nuts that grow in some of the trees. Sometimes we can find cardinals or blue jays flying around in our backyard environment. All of the plants in our backyard depend on the soil in their environment. They get nutrients from the soil to grow. Here's one of our favorite trees. It's a crepe myrtle. You can see I found a living organism, a very large one, right in the middle of the crepe myrtle. But hey, Elliot, can you point to that snail? Elliot and his sister found a snail shell. Oh, not actually a shell, it's an actual snail right on the crepe myrtle. We have a lot of snails in our backyard. They depend on the soil and the plants that are in our backyard. Thanks for visiting my backyard garden environment with me. Now, you think about an environment. Think about a park environment and the living organisms that would be there. how would they depend on each other? How would they depend on the environment?